Hey guys, this is Matthew Armstrong with Ditch Your Box. I got a quick message to all of those people who are depressed. Um, I want to tell you something. Frankly, I'm glad that you're depressed. Now, that might sound weird, but if you've ever been depressed or you are depressed now, or maybe you've never felt like you really have, you will be depressed if you're a human being. And I'm going to tell you something, it's a good thing. The reason why it's a good thing is that unlike what you've been told by our culture, which constantly is telling you that you should always be happy and always feel pleasure and constantly try to entertain yourself, the reality is if you follow this path that our pop culture has created, the virtues of modern society do not lead to happiness. It leads to depression. And the reason why is because who we really are as people is so out of step with the realities that we've been constantly trying to shape ourselves to fit. These are false realities dictated by commercial interests, often trying to create us into consumerism robots that constantly are constantly playing on our insecurities to mold and shape us both politically as well as for their own benefit to gain profit at the expense of the people. The truth is, if you look at this world and the insanity of this world, from the mainstream news reports of what's going on around the world to what you know is reality in your own backyard, if you can look at this mess, that we're constantly inundated with lies, constantly inundated with messages that are so screwed up, so twisted. We live in such a twisted world that if you could look at that and not feel depressed, I'm actually more concerned about that person. It's the person that looks at all of that and thinks it's dandy that I'm most concerned about. It's a completely logical, rational response to this crazy world that we live in, that at some point your soul was going to cry out from the bottom of your heart and say, please pay attention to me. And that's what I feel like the majority of depression is. It's not, the majority of it isn't a chemical imbalance. It's a heart problem, and it's a good heart problem. It means that there is enough of your humanity left that is unsettled by both the course your life has taken and the place you find yourself in this world. And both of those, both the where you find yourself in the world and the course that you've taken in your life, they deserve your attention. Not your attention in the way that says go buy something more to try to fulfill you. It deserves your attention because the truth of the matter is the things that are most important are being completely ignored. They're not going to try to make it important for you to have real relationships and connection because that won't feed the insecurities that you have to have in order to go buy more stuff. And it's not just consumerism, commercialism. It's also in the way that by degrading your humanity, you are more susceptible to manipulation by politicians and governments who are really out there for their own purposes and their own reasons. The people at the top bar, the elite that are involved in every centralized power. It doesn't matter what country it is. We're not just picking on America. Pick any of them. Their self-interest is not aligned with your interest in benefiting and flourishing as a human being. The bottom line is, guys, being depressed in this world is not only completely understandable, I would say if you haven't been depressed yet, you're going to. And when it happens, it's a good thing. The question is, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? I'm letting you know whether you're dealing with depression now or whether you're going to sometime in the future. You have to understand that the majority of the time, the reason you're depressed is because who you are is not lining up with the way your life is going and where you find yourself in this world. And guess what, friends? Unlike you're not going to pay money to get that fixed, although you could invest in some good things like books and you could have counselors and stuff like that can help you. But you don't need money to begin making a different choice with your life, to begin making a choice that will open new pathways to your experience. Because ultimately what you want to try to do is align who you really are inside with your mental state, with your emotional state, and with your choices. When you find that your choices don't line up with who you really are, when you're out of step with the truth of your own truth and of of your life and the direction that your soul wants you to pursue, and you constantly don't choose that, it's going to come out. There will be symptoms. And I really believe that most of the depression that we're dealing with are the symptoms of our souls, that true part of ourselves that is like a foreigner in this world, because we've created such a horrible place to be. We've created such a synthetic, fake, unnatural world, and that this world is in desperate need of people to be not only have the crisis of depression, but to come through it the other side and recognize that we can change it. That this is a gift. Your soul crying out to you is a gift. What is really worrisome is when you get to the point you just don't care anymore. If you have enough care that it bothers you, that something in your life, in your relationships, in your work, in this world, that it bothers you, brothers and sisters, that is a gift. I'm very honored to be here with you and say, yes, guess what? It is wrong. It is fucked up. There are reasons you should be concerned. There are reasons for you to have a rational response as depression. Now let that place that could take you into a very dark place, while you recognize, if you recognize the value of it as a gift, you can see it actually move you into a much better place, a place where you've never been before. And I can tell you from personal experience that there is a power greater than yourself that is available to any one of us if we come to the place where we recognize that we do not have what it takes. That is a blessing. That is a good thing, because it's only when you come to that place of emptiness where you fully just pour yourself out and you go, you know what? I ain't got it. I do not have it. I cannot, I don't have what it takes. Now you can start experiencing the incredible experience that comes along with this concept called surrender. And it's when you surrender in that place of your darkest depression, of your sadness, and you surrender to something greater than yourselves, to the intelligence behind the universe, the meaning of your life suddenly begins to fall into place, and the pieces start to make sense in a way they never have before. And friends, there's no words to describe this. It doesn't matter how much I describe it, the description will never equal the reality of the experience. But when you experience this and you surrender to God, you surrender to this intelligence behind the universe, you don't even have to know if you believe or what you believe or what it is. That's how amazing it is. You just have to be real, and in that place in your life where you've come to, where you go, you know what? I want something different. I need help. Now you're ready to make a new choice that will permanently put you on a different course. And instead of that thing taking you into the darkness and holding you there, you realize it is the very catalyst that moves you towards light. And that light is freeing. It is so freeing when you experience forgiveness, when you experience the wisdom that will come from that experience, and how it draws you to make new connections and to take new steps that are freeing, that bring a sense of liberty to your life. You suddenly feel lighter, and you realize the gift that depression really was. So, my friends, we don't need pills and people being put on pills. Maybe there's some exceptions to that. I'm not willing to say there aren't those exceptions, that people that have to be on medication, and I'm not trying to downgrade anybody who is on medication, but I am saying that, one, you're my brother or my sister. If you face serious depression, I understand. I've been there, and I want you to know that you are human, and your humanity is actually seen in the face of the despair and all of the things that come with depression. It's the false sense of this world that says we should always be happy and that you should always seek pleasure and entertainment. It's fake, guys. It's not real. It's not real. And in our own lives, we can only play out that charade for so long. We can only fake it for so long before our true selves are crying out. And the other thing is, not only is depression a completely human response to the way the world is, let it be the catalyst that it really can be. Because when you pay attention to that, that means, unlike most people that are just trying to ignore it or drown it out or say whatever they do not want to face any pain. It's all about avoiding pain. We are so inundated with this culture of entertainment and pleasure that we're being taught to avoid pain to the point that it's killing us. Isn't that ironic? Guys, the pain of our souls crying out is a gift that realigns who we are with our true goals and our true motives and our true opportunities of the purpose for our lives in this world. It's an opportunity to reset. Take it. Take it with me. Thank you so much.